Tim Albright with AVNation with an InfoComm 2019 special. What we're doing is we are previewing the exhibitors and booths coming to Orlando for InfoComm 2019, June 8th through the 14th. The actual show floor is June 12th to the 14th. And with me to talk about AIMS is David Chiappini. Welcome, sir.
Hey, thank you, Tim.
Absolutely. David, his full-time job, he works for Matrox, but in his spare time, I guess is what we could say, you are now the new chair of the Pro AV working group, AIMS, and AIMS stands for the Alliance for IP Media Solutions. AIMS has a booth, though, at InfoComm, booth number 375. So, David, as we walk into booth 375 at InfoComm, what are we going to find out about AIMS?
So when you walk into the booth on exhibit opening day, you're going to see that there's a theater operating, and there are presentations throughout the day giving people educational pieces on who AIMS is and what we're all about promoting for interoperability over IP for media content in Pro AV. And we're also going to have some interoperability demos that people can come by and have a look at, just to see the technology already working, and maybe to take a small step backwards and give you a little bit of an overview. The technology that we're talking about, AIMS is a media advocacy body, and we are all about promoting open standards for IP multimedia. And we've been around for a few years, and in the broadcast side primarily, where we've introduced technology based on something called SMPTE 2110.
Okay.
And we're going to be taking it from there and now adapting it for the needs and requirements of Pro AV. It's been successful. It's a de facto accepted standard on broadcast. And now on that foundation, we're going to introduce a Pro AV-ified version of it so that we can get the same industry support and momentum going that exists now on broadcast, but in the Pro AV side. Today, that market space is fragmented, and we believe that an open standard will help unify it. And that market segment is the one that cares about taking AV content and control content and moving it over a network in either a one-to-many, many-to-many, many-to-one configuration. And it's based on supporting 10 gig and 25 gig networking, as well as 1 gig networking. And so it's a very flexible standard. It's well thought through, very, very well specified, and it's all based on open standards that you can get from all of these well-established bodies like SMPTE and VSF and AMWA, and it's brought together and packaged in such a way that it makes it all-encompassing to cover the needs of the Pro AV industry. So this will enable customers to be able to take advantage of a best-in-breed type delivery or product line, rather than only have access to, you're tied into one vendor and they may have a really good transmitter or a really good receiver, but not the multi-viewer or not the display wall or not the KVM. Now, everything based on one single open standard means that I can mix and match and get the best product in the best space that serves the customer's need. And it also means that instead of everybody working on inventing their own solution, everybody is working on improving the technology on a single solution. And open standards tend to accelerate the market. And so that's why vendors want to get involved. Vendor lock-in by uniquity versus vendor lock-in by open standard and innovation always proves out in the long run to be the winner. And that's really what AIMS is all about talking and promoting at InfoComm this year.
You guys have been around, AIMS has been around for about 3 years. It was two separate groups before they got together about 3 years ago. What have you guys been hearing for the last 3 years from people you've talked to who have considered the AIMS approach as opposed to a competing either proprietary system or a system that may necessarily compete with AIMS?
So, I mean, keep in mind the last 3 years, the big focus was on the broadcast side. Yep. And their customers absolutely have accepted that going proprietary makes no sense. They don't get the long-term investment protection. They don't get the best-of-breed deployments. For ProAV, the group is new. We just formed ourselves in December of 2018 to come after this, and we're at ISC. That was our first introduction show. And now at InfoComm, we're a little bit more established. We have our story very clearly outlined, and our big focus is on education and just building the knowledge and awareness that, guys, you have an alternative. There is an open standards-based solution here that can solve your problems when it comes to moving AV content over IP networks.
All right, very good. If you want to check them out, again, their booth is 375, booth 375. David, not everybody is going to InfoComm in Orlando, again, June 12th through the 14th. If they're not going, but they want to follow along and learn more about AIMS, how do they do that?
So they can always go to the AIMS Alliance website, and all the presentations that we're going to be running both on the Tuesday, we have an educational seminar, and during the showtime, we have educational pieces. All the presentations will be made available on our website. And you can always pick up the ones from ISC and other shows, which are equally interesting. And because it's open standards based, if you really want to get into it, you can look at all of those bodies, which we detail out how to get to through the AIMS Alliance webpage.
Very good. David Chiappini from Matrox and also from AIMS. Thank you so much. Again, their booth number is 375. You can go by and see them during InfoComm. For us, for AVNation, you can go by the website avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv, and follow along as we also head to Orlando June 12th to the 14th and bring you everything from the show floor of InfoComm 2019. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.